I know I can't afford to stop. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm doing a classic review of the 1999 debut album from Mos Def titled Black on Both Sides. Mos Def, or also known as Yasin Bey, broke onto the scene in 1998 with Talib Kweli with their Black Star album, and it was a very great album. It's probably an album I should talk about on a separate occasion one time. I think it's an amazing hip-hop album, but then they went solo and released their own things later on. Black Star was an album with incredibly conscious lyrics and amazing production to fit as well, and Mos Def continued that on his own solo album, Black on Both Sides. This album is filled with jazzy instrumentals, but there's also this creative flair to the album that is coming from all the samples that Mos Def has used throughout this album that give these songs a unique edge. We have production coming from DJ Premier, a legend in hip-hop production, and also Al Shaheed Muhammad, who is known for his Tribe Called Quest production too. And A Tribe Called Quest is a good reference point for this album as well, as particularly with those jazzier instrumentals. But I think the main focus point on this album is Mos Def himself, who has incredible wordplay and lyricism and can rhyme for days. His spitting just goes on and on and on and on and on. And most of these tracks tend to focus on the celebration of hip-hop and black people in general. Just take the opening track, Fear Not of Man, which samples Nigerian instrumentalist Fela Kuti, but the lyrics here are mostly focusing on how hip-hop is within us, hip-hop is everywhere, where we go, hip-hop goes. And this song even samples a Kraftwerk song, which is, like I was saying before, with the creative samples that he uses on this album, they're all so diverse and dynamic. He samples I Know You Got Soul by Eric B. and Rakim on the track Love, which is about his love for hip-hop and how love for writing music ended up pushing him to become successful. And that's the thing about Mos Def on this album. There is so much positivity like seeping through on every track, just with the bright instrumentals. Everything just sounds so like gospel in a way, not like gospel music, but just in a way that like Mos Def is kind of like preaching to you and kind of like telling you like to be good and do good in the world. Even if that's not what he's saying on the track, it's just the way his vocals come across. Like that's how I just feel about Mos Def and what he's trying to like put across in his music. We get this on the track Umi Says, which starts off a little slow. His vocals are a little quiet. He's kind of like improvising some little like word passages on this part, but then the song kind of like breaks through, and the chorus is like Umi says shine a light on the world, and he's really just requesting that black people are free and black people aren't enslaved. He speaks a lot about this on the album, and I suppose a lot of rappers at this time did this too, but there was always kind of like a bit of resentment and anger to that side of hip-hop, whereas Mos Def just does it in a positive way. It's really strange how it works as well. There's a feature with Q-Tip on this album of Tribe Called Quest again, and this song is referencing how like a wealthy black man still experiences racism, and they still can't really escape all of that even though they still are rich and privileged. And Rock and Roll is a slightly messy sounding song, to be honest. I mean, I kind of get the whole idea that, he's saying here that Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry were the ones that created rock and roll, and Rolling Stones and Elvis Presley don't deserve the credit. But I think it's kind of done in a bit of a messy way. It sounds kind of uneasy to listen to with the way he's kind of rapping and singing on this song, but it's the second half to this track which I absolutely love, where it turns into this hardcore punk jamming session. It's just insane, and to hear this on a hip-hop album is pretty much unheard of. Even today you would never get like a rock sounding song on a hip-hop album. However, there is in fact a Red Hot Chili Peppers interpolation on the track Brooklyn, where he samples Under the Bridge, which again I suppose is quite an interesting sample for a hip hop album for this time. But that's what I love about Mos Def. I mean, as much as he is a New York rapper, he isn't really like any other New York rapper for this time. You could call back to all the hip hop in the 90s, and it typically has, the boom bap sound, which I love and a lot of people love. But I think Mos Def just added a new twist to hip hop that not many rappers were able to do. Miss Fat Booty is a perfect example of that. I mean, this track is just amazing. I love the beat on this song. I love the Aretha Franklin sample and the story of the song where he meets this girl that he's kind of into, but then by the end of the song, he finds out that she was at a strip club dancing with another woman, so he's kind of questioning what her sexuality and if she's actually even straight. There's a lot of funny lines in this song. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best 90s songs I think ever made. And Mathematics is another incredible song on this album. The start of verse 2 is insane, where he kind of counts up to 10. I'm going to read it off now because it's that good. It's one universal law, but two sides to every story. 3 strikes and you bidding for life, mandatory. 4 MCs murdered in the last 4 years. I ain't trying to be the 5th when the millennium is here. It's 6 million ways to die from the 7 deadly thrills. 8-year-olds getting found with 9 mils. It's 10 p.m. where your seed's at. Like, holy shit, the technical ability he has is just unreal. Busta Rhymes even makes a great feature earlier on in this album too, and even though I've not mentioned every track, because this is a 72-minute album, which it may put people off, but I feel like it's just an album that you've got to hear at least once. Make sure you listen to this, it's worth your time. Mos Def is an incredible rapper, the beats on this album are really good as well. And I'm going to say this album is an A-. I think you should check it out. It's a classic hip hop release. Check out his collaborative album too with Talib Kweli. And that's the review over. If you like this review, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more reviews. And have a good day.